How are we doing, Freightskills? It has been a minute since I've been on the channel. I think about 6 or 7 months since my last video. So I'm about ready to give you guys some updates and let you guys know what I've been up to, what's been going on, and a couple of new things that we're going to be bringing to the Freightskills ecosystem. Now, before we get into that, essentially, probably back November, December. Look, I'd be lying if I told you that our brokerage has been immune to the struggle that the rest of the freight industry has seen. I have seen countless brokerages shut their doors. I'm seeing carriers shut their doors. And really, the last 6, 7 months has just been head down, balls to the wall, just trying to keep all of our operations going. And I feel like now I'm in a much better place where I could get back to what I was enjoying doing, which was talking to you guys and making videos and doing all that good stuff. So there's a lot of things that we got involved in, some wins, some losses, and I'm excited to tell you about both of them because new levels, new devils, and what you do doesn't always work the way you think it does. So there's a few of those stories that we're going to bake in there as well. But based on, the thing to know is that never really stopped freight. Rather, there's just things that have been demanding my time over the last few months that I had to tend to. But we're back nonetheless. Okay, so I'm going to do a couple videos on some other things about this cool little tidbits of lessons, some things I got involved in, some new things I learned about different businesses, different facets of this business. All in all, everything is all good. I hope everything's all right with all of you guys that are watching this again. If you're new to the channel and this is your first one, great. Welcome. Good to have you. But what I wanted to do was make this video as a quick intro before I get into the swing of doing all the other videos and give you a little bit of a combination of a rant and show you a bit of the direction of where we're going to take Freightskills from this point forward. Because obviously, between technology, the AI buzzwords, the economy, the tariffs, all of that stuff that's going on right now, things are not as they were. And they have not been as they were for the last, I think, what are we in, 2 or 3 years into the freight recession? So I've been thinking for the last month and a half, 2 months, because I've been wanting to bring back these videos and making content again and doing all that stuff. So I've just been trying to think what's going to help the most. And what's going to help the most is showing you what I'm doing in our brokerage, helping you replicate that, and actually helping you install the tools and the systems that I'm doing with between AI and new programs and things like that. Because that's ultimately what's going to help your brokerage grow. But without further ado, this is a little bit of if you've been in the channel before, this will be helpful. If you're new to the channel, you might want to catch up on a lot of the other stuff that we have on the channel, just so you know what we're about and what we do. But let's get a little bit into where we're going to take Freightskills, a couple observations I'm seeing, a couple places people are going wrong in the market right now. I see a lot of people that are a little bit stuck and they're going to stay stuck without making a few of these changes. And I definitely want to talk about AI because that seems to be what everybody is talking about right now. So let's get right into it. All right. Freightskills. So basically, guys, I'm back at the home office for a month or two, so I have all my filming equipment. So I'm sorry if the audio is not where it should be, and this is basically how I do all my videos. You just don't see them because I don't really script things. I just made a couple notes of what I'm going to talk about. So that's up here, and I'll type some things. Now, so what we're doing with Freightskills now, I would be lying to you if I told you that right now is a good time to start a freight brokerage. All right. The only times I would give the but, it's a bad time, but is if you have a lot of saved up capital and you can go in the hole for a long time, you have pre-existing relationships that you know for a fact are going to jump on board with you, or you're already working in a regular brokerage and you're spinning off to do your own. And even then, I would question why you're going to do that, because at that point, you could just negotiate a better deal somewhere else as if you don't have a non-compete. So right now, is it the best time to jump in and start a brokerage and buy a bond and get your authority and start building carrier relationships from scratch and customer relationships from scratch? No, it's not. But assuming you already did that and you're here, there's a home for you. We're not going anywhere. All the content that I had is still relevant. All the new content I'm going to make is still relevant. We're just shifting a little bit of the way we service freight brokers and agents is going to be a little bit different, a little bit more geared towards building momentum up versus starting from scratch. Now, that's not to say that some of the stuff that I have planned is not going to work if you're brand new, but if you're new to freight, new to trucking, new to business, and you start this up, you're not going to want to be anywhere else but here. But if you're not there, we're going to have content on where I recommend that you start. That's one of the next few videos. I literally wrote it down a few minutes ago, like what I would do if I was starting in 2025. Okay. Wherever you are at in your journey, we're going to make the best of it right here, wherever that is. If you're a brokerage that's doing 1 to 10 million a year, if you're an agent that's doing low to mid six figures, if you're somebody that got a few loads and you're just getting started, whatever it is, we're going to help you out with it. All right. So that's where Freightskills is at. All right. I'm working on the service offerings as far as getting access to the private stuff, all the stuff that I do in the brokerage, and actually getting a little bit more of our hands dirty and getting into your systems and building them out for you, because we're getting really heavy on all the technology stuff, which I'm going to talk about next, because I wanted the content of this video to be very technology rich, because that's really what everybody's talking about. All right. Just so you know, a lot of this channel and a lot of what we're going to talk about and work with is going to be focused on AI tools. Now, why? Is it because it's the biggest buzzword in LinkedIn right now? Is it because every other TikTok and YouTube video is about AI? No. The reason why is because our shippers are getting more in tune to AI, which means that we have to respond to that. But I see a lot of mistakes in the way people are approaching AI, and all it's doing is racking up your monthly charges on your credit card at a time when your brokerage should be in, I don't want to say cost saving mode, but profit preservation mode. So if you're just buying every single AI tool that comes out and just stitching it together and not really using it, that's not really the right thing to do right now. But if you're only using ChatGPT as a tool to look up, as a picture generator, or to look up like certain random facts, that's not really the right way to use AI either. So we're going to focus a lot of our new content on what tools we're using, what tools I recommend, what should AI be and what shouldn't AI be used for in your brokerage, and how we're bridging that gap between the adoption rate of AI. The biggest problem in freight, which has been for a long time, has been the disparity between technology, shippers and brokers, and truckers. There's three parties, right? So what we're going to talk about is how to bridge that, meaning how do you use it so that everybody's happy at the same time? Not an easy feat, but we're going to try to do it. And I think you'll agree with some of the points that I'm going to start making through my videos, that there is a solution. It's just we're not there yet. Close, but we're not there yet. Now, let's go into what I've seen change in freight over the last, call it 6-7 months that my channel's been, we'll call it dark. Now, a few things. Number one, you're no longer going to build a giant book of customers hiding behind AI automations. You have to understand that. Apollo, LinkedIn Sales Nav, automatic emails, AI agents like AI. I'll show you what I mean. These guys, where is it? It's not this one. I got to find it. but there's an app where you can even like program a verbal dispatcher or a verbal AI agent to do your sales calls. It's not going to fly. Can AI be used to help make things a little bit easier on the back end? Yes. Are we using AI for customer outreach? Yes. But what I'm seeing now is there's going to be a shift back to more personable sales methodologies. Knocking on doors, phone calls are going to stand out now. Direct mail, physical packages, those are going to stand out now. Anything that you could do to get in front of people, going to those golf outings, going to your local meetups, joining clubs, trade shows. It's always hit or miss on trade shows. But the overarching theme that I think is going to separate the brokers that are doing very well to the brokers that are not doing so well is their willingness and ability to inject their personality into their sales. AI automations aren't going to cut it alone. Okay, I just spent 3 hours this week building out an AI automation for a new sales rep. We're going to test it. If it works, we're going to bring it to you. If it doesn't, I'm going to tell you that it doesn't work, right? So that's the number one thing that you have to understand with all this rise in AI talk, things like that. Now, another problem that I see with AI right now in the logistics space, especially, is that the adoption rate is way, way too slow. All right. Is it being adopted by shippers? Yes. Is it being adopted by brokers? Yes. But it's not being adopted entirely by an entire organization. And the truck drivers, dispatchers, forget about it. They're not even, that's what Jersey and me, forget about it. They're back in 2023 right now with where they're at with AI. The problem is everybody is trying to cash in on the logistics AI boom. We're seeing AI-powered TMS systems for shippers. We're seeing AI-powered TMS systems for brokers, AI-powered content engines, AI-powered video creations. I just made one the other day. As a matter of fact, the new website that I made, this was all made with partly artificial intelligence. But the thing is that AI tools that are being made are not meeting people where they're at. So we're going to talk about the right way to use automation tools and the right way to use AI, because you need to be using it in a way that makes your life and your business work easier. We're saving a ton of time on mundane tasks. We don't need as much manpower as we used to because we have all of these new things. But what I mean, for example, is if you hire a salesperson who has used their texting and their cell phone and emails for the last 20 years, and you give them a new app to download, they're not going to download it. They're not going to use it. They'll use it for 3 weeks and then they'll stop. So what I say that because a lot of the bigger freight brokerages are investing so heavily in all of these new tools versus looking at what's my team using? How do I make it a little bit better with these new tools? All right. Like you can download different chat CRMs and everything till you're blue in the face. You could give people internal chat rooms where sales can talk to ops and all this stuff. They're not used to it. They're not going to use it. And if they're not using it, then you're just burning away monthly subscription money that could be used elsewhere. All right. That's just a comment I wanted to make about where I see that a lot of the AI tools are missing the mark, especially all the CRMs. Like at this point, if you're still asking like, what CRM should I use? What TMS should I use? That's not the right question to be asking. There's every single one's the same at this point. Maybe I'll get some comments here of the tools saying that they're not the same. The best tool is the one you use, whether that's an Excel spreadsheet, whether it's a Word document, whether it's a flip phone, whatever it is. The tool that you use is the best tool. Different things, different programs do different things. There's no one size fits all program. And the reason I talk about this is because I just saw some tech platform raise like $77 million to be an all-in-one TMS system. And I don't know where they're getting that money from or why. because they're trying to marry full-on truck management with a broker TMS at the same time, built-in EDIs and a bunch of different tools. But $77 million, I don't see it. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. All right. So that's point number 2. And that leads into point number 3 of where I see AI missing the mark with logistics. So a lot of the theme of the videos that I'm going to be making are going to be geared around how to actually use AI the right way for the end goal. Because a lot of things are bells and whistles, right? And that's why I said down here, you can't hang your hat on technology and fancy tools and just wait for them to integrate with your customers. The mistake that a lot of people, maybe you're included, are making right now is you're buying things as a crutch. You're investing into tools and AI and programs, and then waiting for those programs to be adopted by the masses. We have to develop this sort of step stool methodology of working so that we're developing our tools and our foundation with our personal relationship skills. The main thing here that I want you to take away is that freight being a relationship business is not going to change. The person who has a relationship is going to win the business. Now, what I'm seeing a lot in our brokerage is a lot of our shippers, our bigger customers that we've had for many years, are turning to these tools and trying to hack the system and get cheaper rates by doing auction blasts or integrating with one of those automatic platforms that just, you put your bid in and then you go to sleep, and then the next day they wake up and they press tender and then they're done. But what they're going to find out real quick, or if they haven't found out already, that if they don't have a single person that they can talk to and call and work through issues and actually get insights into what's actually going on beyond the program, then they're going to be in trouble. And technology will end up costing them a lot more than they bargained. But we'll see how that pans out. And I'm still working on breaking down how to combat this in your brokerage, because it's going to be very rare, very soon, to find a big company not forcing you into using certain tools. Okay, that shift is happening, so we have to get in front of that. All right, but that's why we're here. So that's just a little bit of observations about AI. As far as some other things that I wanted to touch on this video, at least, before I start pumping out all the standard content, is a little bit of what I'm doing in the brokerage and a couple of just tidbits of advice. I put them at the bottom. So in our brokerage, what we're doing is we're going completely back to basics. We're doing in-person stuff. I just hired a salesperson that is basically, they came over from another company, but they were hired as a door knocking sales rep. They're going door to door every day, 3 days a week, actually. And you know what, I'll touch on my next point when I get down to the bottom. But every single day, we're doing phone calls, we're doing door knocking, we're focusing on making an impact in the local market. I have I have a stack of maybe 2,000 to 3,000 shippers in New Jersey alone. That's where our company's based. That's where the rep's based. That's where our office is. And with those 3,000, an individual that's putting like high touch effort into all of them, that'll take about a year to work them all properly and be able to tell me, look, I worked these ones worked, these ones didn't. Don't underestimate making an impact in your local market right now. Networking with people, always carry a business card. Yeah, funny I say that because I'm the biggest anti-old school person if you watch the rest of my videos. But right now, that's what's coming back, because certain industries are driven by certain generations, and a lot of the big spending industries are still run by the generations that like to have a business card, like to meet in person, like to shake your hand and go to dinner and go to lunch and do all that kind of stuff. Okay, so that's what we're doing right now. And those systems, as I get them to work, that's what I'm going to bring to you. So let me be the test guinea pig for you. I've built these systems for many years, and your learning curve will be a lot less, as in you'll learn it a lot faster if you let me make the mistakes first. Like right now, I restarted a bunch of Google campaigns and stuff. I really wanted to show you guys that, which I'm going to in some later videos. All right. So that's what we just went over. We're doing a bigger emphasis on human interaction with a reinforced tech foundation. And what does that mean? It means I'm doing the automations. Anything that I can automate, I am. I am playing with integrating a AI, like voice agent, to take certain calls and make certain calls. I'll let you know how that works out as I do it. As far as a website, chatbot, automated email responders, all those things, we're using them. Don't shy away from those. Don't underestimate those. But LinkedIn, things like that are getting very crowded because tools are getting more and more accessible. So just don't hang your hat on any one thing. That's all I have to say. And we're doing the same thing. We're doing daily habits. We're focusing on metrics that actually move the needle. And this is going to go down to, I want to give you guys a little bit of quick advice of what I see with a lot of the brokers right now that are in mainstream broker land, which is not a bad place to be, by the way. I'm mainstream broker land. But we need to start focusing on simplifying the model of a freight brokerage. That's how we're going to grow. We're simplifying everything, or at least the idea, the way we think of it, right? We're looking at new freight modes. We're looking at new industries. We're adding people. We're doing all of the things that will contribute to growth. We're not trying to grow by cutting. That's not how you grow. You can't cut costs and can't shrink and expand at the same time. It's something that I've always said. So we're not trying to shrink. We're trying to grow just strategically. And we're trying to grow the right things. All right. So that's where we're at in our internal brokerage. Because again, I'm one of the only broker coaches, broker channels that still actually runs the business that he's teaching. So you can take that from that perspective. Now, as far as some advice I have for you guys right now, just some things that I'm seeing. And again, I'm making a lot of content over the next few weeks, especially when I get back to home base for me and I have my camera and my gear and everything. There's a lot of stuff that's being perpetuated on freight broker socials that I don't necessarily think you need to buy into or should buy into. One of them being, I'll go through all of them. Number one is there's a lot of trash talking about being a W-2 versus an agent. And now I'm not saying either is right or wrong. What I'm saying is that, like a lot of people, content is posted to the benefit of the person that's posting it. So if you have people that are screaming from the rooftops telling you, don't take a W-2 role, W-2 is working, making somebody else rich. First of all, as a W-2 role, unless you're some like rock star agent, most W-2s are not making anybody rich. That's, you're adding value to an organization, which has overhead. So if you're a W-2, I highly doubt that the owner of the company is taking like all this money and shoveling it into their pocket. They're putting it back into the business. It's just a matter of your personal preference. What kind of security do you want? Because with a W-2, can you lose your employment at any time? Yes. However, for the time being, you're guaranteed a paycheck whether you make money or not. So as long as you know where you stand and you're doing the right things and you're with a good organization, being a W-2 agent right now is not a bad gig, especially if you're getting benefits and everything like that. Don't buy into the narrative that all of these agents are making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. Some of them are, yes, but many of them are not. A lot of recruiters will tell you, don't be a W-2 agent, be a 1099, max out your book. Again, that only works if you have an existing book of business. If you don't, just know what you're getting yourself into. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying either is right or wrong. I have both. I offer both. As a matter of fact, When somebody interviews with us, I flat out ask them, would you rather be a W-2 or would you rather be an agent? These are the pros, these are the cons of each one. You make a decision. And I always leave the door open for people to come in and say, I want to be a W-2 right now, but I want the option to change later. Perfectly fine, as long as everybody's on the same page. The main thing is just, I see a lot of content on LinkedIn about just trashing W-2 people and trashing owners who offer the W-2 compensation. And we don't do that nefariously, and we don't offer W-2 roles. As a matter of fact, I hate doing W-2 roles because I have to pay workman's comp taxes. I have to do benefits. I have to worry about taking their taxes out, and they have to be put into payroll. So it's actually more work to take on a W-2. And I know I'm already out that money, and the salesperson didn't produce anything. So it's a give and take for everybody. Right? That's really what I want to get into. So don't shy up on opportunities based off of what other people are saying right now. Number two, if you're a freight broker, I highly advise you stay out of the weeds on LinkedIn unless you want to wind up like all of the freight brokers on LinkedIn, which could be good or bad. I'm not saying every freight broker on LinkedIn is bad. I'm not saying every freight broker on LinkedIn is good. All I'm saying is that I don't understand why, if you're trying to grow your freight business, if you're catering all of your content to a very small circle of freight brokers. And take it from me, the person who has quite a bit of freight brokers following him. I have 10,000 followers on YouTube that are very, very responsive. I'm obviously going to build that back up again now that I'm making videos. I have 4,500 people on my email list. That pales in comparison to the market of shippers. So if you're a freight broker, do not go on LinkedIn and complain all day about freight and trucking. It does nothing to grow your business. If you want to use LinkedIn as a sounding board and you want to use it as a social platform, which it's pretty much turned into by now, then that's great. Do that. But I cannot express how bad it looks to constantly be posting on LinkedIn complaining about freight fraud and how bad the brokerage market is and complaining about other customers and things like that. It's just the target market that you're going after, the shippers. If you're using LinkedIn as a professional tool, they don't want to see that. And it's going to bring you down. It's literally bringing your energy level down, because I haven't seen any freight brokers posting how great, or maybe a handful. There's a few that have an existing book and they keep growing it because they're coming from a different place. So the biggest thing that I want to get across to you is, do not hang out in circles where you're perfectly aligned with everybody in that circle. All right. Freight broker, LinkedIn, I believe is toxic. I'm going on an unfollow spree. The only reason why I follow most of the people I follow on LinkedIn in the freight broker space is just to see what everybody else is doing. But I wouldn't really be posting. I don't post content about being a freight broker. I don't even like using the word freight broker. I prefer 3PL or logistics advisor or something like that. So that's just one rant that's been really bugging me, because a lot of people are stuck in that broker LinkedIn community, and I don't think it's positive. There's not a lot of positive posting going on, and just be aware of that and cater to the audience that you want to see. And I'm going to tell you how to do it, right? We'll get into that in future videos. I probably had some more points to cover, but really, oh yeah, you know what I wanted to do? I wanted to go through my website real quick. All right. Completely redid the website and everything like that. All right. I'm still not set on what the communities are actually going to be, but what I am working on is I'm working on new courses. I'm working on new free resources. I'm working on new free presentations. Remember, I never really ask anybody to buy anything. The only reason there's a paywall is because I can't split my time up 100 times, right? There needs to be some kind of value exchange for, number one, for you, so that you value what you're getting. And number two, so that I can continue to support all of this stuff, because it does cost it costs money to edit videos and take time out and do all of this stuff, right? So there's going to be plenty of free stuff. There's going to be plenty of other stuff that gives you a little bit more access. And there's going to be done with you and done for you stuff. So we are going to be implementing more programs where you're actually building out systems using the tools that I was talking about earlier in the video. So I'm really excited about doing that, actually. So it's going to take the form of more of an agency kind of growth thing, because again, we're not really catering towards the beginners. There's going to be a place for you, and you'll see that there's already a place for you. We want to focus on helping you get further ahead if you've already got a little bit of momentum. And the only reason I say that is I would be doing you a disservice if I tried to encourage you to start from scratch right now. All right, if I can't tell you what to do, I can only give you my professional opinion. Starting from scratch right now, not the best thing to do. But in any event, that's where we're at with Freightskills. All right, I have some really cool videos for you coming up in the next few weeks. I'm going to be filming a lot. I'm going to try to get to that 2 to 3 video per week mark, maybe more if I can. If you come to the website, freightskills.com, just to show you real quick, there is still a free training up here. All right, so you can opt into there. Tools, all of these tools are free. I have scripts. A lot of them come from the premium courses and things like that. All right, and the absolute, so there's going to be more added here. These are all the trainings. This, the Freightskills Inner Circle, this is where I'm going to be focusing most of my time. You can read about what that is here. If you remember before, we'd love to have you back. If you've never looked into it, you can take a look and join. All right, this is going to be hosted on the Skool platform. And now I'm going to put a link to the bottom of this video, but I'm only going to be taking time. It's a lie. I'm going to check in every once in a while. But Facebook, I'm going to phase that out. Be focusing most of the effort here. Reason being, it's a little bit more personable. I don't really care much about follower count and all those vanity metrics. I'd rather have a real person with a real picture and know who I'm talking to, whether it's a consulting call or giving free advice to somebody. I'd rather not just deal with a bunch of spammers that are trying to get new finance clients and things like that. All right. So there's going to be a link to this. I'm going to be in here a lot. I'm going to be doing videos, Q&As, lives. There's some field sites that I'm going to. I'm still going to host some of those. So everything is going to start rolling again. I'm working on some tools of my own that I'm going to build for you guys. So a lot in the works. I'm really looking forward to start making content again and things like that. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. Still the same email, lewis@freightskills.com, and I will get back to you. I'm going to try to drop into that inbox at least once a day. I do actually get a pretty good volume in there. So if I don't get back to you in 24 hours, it'll probably be 48 hours. But the one thing, just if you have specific questions of videos you'd like to see, I'm actually going to send out an email that'll give you a survey that you'll be able to do that. There's some points that you want me to hit on. Happy to. All right. So really excited to start bringing you guys some fresh freight broker logistics content, show you what we're doing in our brokerage, helping you leverage those tools, AI, everything like that, to elevate what you're doing right now and complement what you're doing right now, not replace the good old power of relationships and actually doing the things that make businesses grow, right? Because playing with tools all day doesn't make businesses grow. Making phone calls, sending emails, cold outreach, that's what does it. All right. So really looking forward to getting back into things. Thank you so much if you watched this long. If you're from the past, great to have you still watching the channel. If you're new, really happy to have you here, and I'm really happy to guide you on the rest of your journey. All right. So look forward to some new videos next week, and I'll see you guys then.